They called it the Bravo broadcast. It only aired once, sometime in the early 2000s. No one knows the exact year, but kids who watched it were between 11 and 15. And they all remember it the same way. The night that Johnny Bravo stopped being a cartoon and became something else. The episode began without a title card or a theme song. Instead, Johnny sat shirtless in his dimly lit room. His famous blonde hair was greasy and limp, falling all over his pale, corpse gray face. For 3 minutes, nothing. I mean, nothing happened except Johnny breathing. But his breathing wasn't right. It was heavy, ragged, punctuated by low, wet cracks, as if each inhale fractured his ribs. His chest rose violently, and with each twitch, his skin split slightly along his cheeks. Raw flesh, stretching like old leather. Faint whispers crawled in the background. At first, gibberish, layered, distorted voices. Then slowly, it became clear. You are alone. He is watching. Scratch your skin, taste the blood, close your eyes. Viewers swore the voices sometimes spoke their names. Johnny eventually stood and left his room. Went out to Aaron City, but Aaron City wasn't right. Sky bled downward in thick red streaks. Buildings warped and sagged like rotting organs. Windows blinking open and shut like wet eyes. Sidewalks oozed a black liquid with every single step. Children stood motionless on the corners, faces smeared out in static, their teddy bears in their arms like living animals almost. Little Susie sat on the curb with no eyes, just black liquid dripping down her face. She whispered again and again, "He's in the static. He's in the static. He's in the static." When Johnny finally spoke, his voice wasn't his. It was layered, vibrating, demonic. "I'm inside your head now, Mama." Every time he repeated "Mama," the camera jolted closer and closer to his face until his mouth stretched wider than humanly possible, teeth multiplying into jagged rows. Johnny then entered Pop's diner. Pops was already there, but not alive. His body dangled from the ceiling, twitching faintly, his neck bulging grotesquely. Then suddenly, his chest split wide open, spilling black worms across the counter. The worms crawled down the walls, chewing noises filling the speakers with clarity. Johnny picked one up and shoved it in his mouth. His cartoon teeth melted away, replaced with sharp, gray fangs. As black fluid dripped down his chin, he leaned forward toward the screen and whispered, Mama's favorite." The screen then cut to black. Then Johnny appeared again, center frame, staring directly at the audience for nearly 8 minutes. He didn't move. 8 minutes. He just stared. But the longer you looked, the more he decomposed. His skin sloughed off, strips peeling from his arms. His sunglasses melted into his face, fusing with the sockets. His voice split into dozens of overlapping tones, chanting in perfect sync. Close your eyes. Close them tight. Dig them out. Flashing subliminal burns, just all types of imagery. flashing through the screen. A child smiling in a bathtub full of blood, the reflection grinning wider than their real face. A dog with human teeth gnawing on a severed hand. Even Johnny's own face stretched across the entire frame, whispering specific details, sometimes even the watcher's own name. The whispers grew louder until they weren't words anymore. They were shrieks, drilling into the skull. Suddenly, Johnny was walking through endless static. The ground was fuzzy smell. The sky, just an ocean of white noise. Faces flickered in and out of the static. Real human faces, screaming silently before vanishing. With each step, Johnny warped further. His arms stretched long behind him like tentacles. His eyes bulged, twitching. His voice wasn't his anymore. It was the screaming faces speaking through him. And they were all saying the same thing. Join the static. Join the static. There were times where Johnny would stop, turn toward the screen, and whisper things he shouldn't know. Street names, parent names, private secrets. The episode was watching back. Finally, Johnny entered a new space. A room built entirely from wet flesh. Veins pulsed along the walls. The floor squished under his steps. And then I saw it. Dozens of other Johnnies dangled from the ceiling, each one a grotesque clone in a different stage of decay, some with their jaws ripped open, others without skin, twitching violently. Their eyes lit with static, and together they spoke. You shouldn't have watched. You can't stop watching. We'll stay with you forever. The voices layered into a deafening, distorted shriek till the screen blacked out. For 10 minutes, the screen was nothing but black. The kids reported hearing faint breathing, not from the TV, but from their own bedrooms. When the picture returned, it wasn't animated anymore. It was a close-up of a man in live action. Face painted to look like Johnny Bravo. Cheap blonde wig. Sunglasses glued to his eye sockets. Gray makeup smeared over his skin. His teeth were sharp, jagged, and just too real. He leaned close to the camera, lips stretching impossibly wide until his mouth filled the entire screen. Then he whispered clearly and directly, "You're next, Mama." And the broadcast ended. Aftermath. Those who saw it just never forgot. One boy clawed out his own eyes with a pencil 2 weeks later, chanting Johnny's words. In another incident, a girl stopped speaking entirely, humming the Bravo theme song just off-key for hours at a time. And the rest claimed Johnny never really left. And I have to agree. Every time I close my eyes, I see him waiting in the static, breathing, smiling, whispering, "Close your eyes. Join the static. You let me out." And if you ever stumble across a late night Cartoon Network broadcast that suddenly cuts to static, trust me, don't watch. Because if you do, he'll find you. And there's no running away from it.